The coaching industry is shifting, but people haven't realized why yet.
Welcome to Coach Grid. My name is Joe Spearden. I'm joined, as always, by Kirsten Davis. And today we want to talk about Telegram. If you're a coach, if you're a small business owner, there's a good chance that you've heard of Telegram. There's an even better chance that you've used Telegram, whether as a practitioner yourself or as a recipient. And we've noticed recently, and over the past couple of months especially, kind of a mass exodus from Telegram, or at the very least, a lot of people wanting.
Yeah, a lot of people talking about, can we leave this behind yet?
Yeah.
Are people still on here? I'm tired.
Well, let's start there. Why are coaches, especially, small business owners, practitioners, why are they tired of Telegram?
I think there's a lot of reasons. The first one that comes to my mind is Telegram started as this really cool place that you could facilitate a group of people and be able to, post a voice note in there, and everybody's getting a more personalized experience with you, but it's all in one place and it's not on your text, so you're able to separate it. And that was really cool. It was like, oh, we can come closer together. But I think people are tired, one, because you just slowly boundaries can get pushed when somebody has access to you in that way, especially if it's a channel where there's back and forth. And so you can just slowly start to your time is just slipping away because you're like, oh, we'll just do a quick 5-minute voice memo here. And then if you multiply that as you get more and more clients, that can start to get exhausting, but it happens slowly. So you don't realize it's happening. Also, just because if you're a coach and you have a Telegram group and then you launch another one and another one, so then you have 4 of your own Telegram groups, and then you hire a different coach and they have 4 Telegram groups. And then all of a sudden you have 43 Telegram groups and they all have notifications. At some point, you can't even manage it.
Absolutely. I remember when I first heard about Telegram and similar apps to it.
Yeah.
We're talking about Telegram, but we're also talking about WhatsApp. Mm-hmm. We're also kind of talking about Signal. There are other similar things that are out there.
Yeah.
That people are really fatigued, both the end user mm-hmm. and the person that's utilizing it to disseminate a message. But when I first heard about it, I was like, why don't we just do text messaging? This just feels like another place to do the exact same thing. Mm-hmm. And it really was cool at first because there was some distinction. Now, one of the things, I'm a former recovering Android user. And
I didn't know that.
I was the one that was like, it was like,
That's
oh,
so funny.
He's the green message guy, So there's that part of it too, where all of a sudden we were uniform again. And regardless of the kind of the phone you had, we were unified in our space.
I can't get over this.
That
makes so much sense. I can't even believe that you left Android. Just knowing your personality.
I was peer pressured into it by a lot of different groups.
That's funny.
So, and that's kind of the thing though, right? Here's this new place where we get to gather and where we get to talk to each other and a coach can share this stuff. But you're right. With the advancement in technology and the things we're able to do there, mm-hmm. there's that boundary creep that comes up. And if you can't put in things in place mm-hmm. in there, it's a really natural thing to happen where all of a sudden it's overwhelming for you and for the different clientele that you have. As we're talking about this, I think one of the other things that comes up is as technology has continued to advance, there's even ways to get closer, and not closer meaning more time together and more boundary crossing, mm-hmm. but just more connection.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of other advancements where Telegram does feel a little bit more impersonal mm-hmm. and a little more cold in some of those spaces.
The first ever Telegram coaching group that I joined, I was amazed. I was like, this is amazing. It felt so personal. It felt really supportive. But then, I don't know, it's been a little over a year, I think, since then. It hasn't even been that long ago, but things are just shifting really fast. Where from then to now, the same program feels just dead. Like it has, and it's not about the person. The person, their content is great, but it's hard for me to want to re-sign with the coaches that are in Telegram because there's somebody that was doing a women's gathering and I was really excited about it. And she was like, I'm going to put us in a Telegram group. And I was like, okay, I'll join it. But I had Telegram, all the notifications were off. And so she announced the next thing and I totally missed it because I was like, I don't even want to open Telegram because every time I go in there, it just feels like I'm talking to AI in a way, even though it is a person. There's no level of customization or personalization to me. And even though in the weekly calls that are on Zoom, I'm getting that, then we go back to Telegram and it's like, here's the box that has nothing that we just talked about. And I'm just going to speak at you again.
Right.
And it feels a little bit jarring. And the more that I've been experiencing custom programs and programs that have just evolved, like I imagine it's like when they went from delivering communication via horse to a phone call. It's like, man, do you really want to keep doing it with the horse? It's like,
right. Absolutely.
It just becomes harder and harder to want to sign on with people where I have to do a lot more effort to get the same result as somebody who has the same skill sets and is utilizing tech that just lessens my mental load as a client.
I think that highlights a really important kind of bigger point because it's not just Telegram. Mm-hmm. There are so many different softwares.
Yeah. Kajabi, Circle.
Yeah, exactly. There have been so many that accomplished something that was new. Mm-hmm. It was innovative. It was new. And so it felt really exciting. And even with the new innovation, as a business owner, as a leader, you still end up shifting your business and shifting your message and kind of bending it to the software. Like, yeah, I wish it would have done this and I wish it would do this. And maybe one day they'll release an update where it starts doing this thing.
Probably not.
Probably not. And if they do, it's maybe going to break 3 other things that I have been liking, or it's going to cost 5 times as much now, or whatever the thing is.
And it's not, if you're watching these platforms, it's interesting. Kajabi is a really good example. They've changed their demographic like 3 times in the last 3 years. They're like, and it's kind of a joke on social media. People are like, oh, who's Kajabi going to be talking to tomorrow? Like, and because they're like, oh, now it's content creators. Oh, now it's coaches. Oh, now it's people who own businesses. And they just keep kind of pivoting it, but their features more or less are staying the same. And once business gets to a certain point, if you think about it strategically, it's not bad that they're doing that, but strategically it's not profitable to keep releasing new stuff when you have this mountain of tech debt because your stuff was built to solve a problem that was from however many years ago when Kajabi was built to solve that problem. So it doesn't make sense for them to evolve a broken thing. It just makes sense to create something new at that point.
You said something earlier that I think is really important. And you said you expressed some reluctance to even re-sign as a client. Mm-hmm. And so, I might really love this person and really love their message and really love the community that they've built. But I think just like the coaches get burned out, the clientele is getting burned out on the delivery system as well. Mm-hmm. And so in that process, what do you hear from clients? Like, what are they craving? What are they experiencing in other places that they're now not getting on Telegram?
I think that's the interesting thing. I don't think we're hearing it from clients yet. I think people, you see people say the coaching industry is shifting. People aren't buying the way they used to. That's the stuff you're hearing, but people haven't realized why yet. And this is just my theory on why these things are actually happening, because AI comes in and we have this whole other world of highly customized to a fault. It will fit you, and so you're experiencing that. And then you're like, man, I have to go interact with a person. And I think we're reaching a point now where AI started to reach the higher adoption of more and more people are adopting. It's been around for a long time, but it's just becoming a lot more mainstream and accepted. So people start using it, and then we start to see the downside. And so people are like, maybe humans do have some value. Maybe not being in an echo chamber has some value. And so they try to go back, but they don't want to give up the good parts, right? And so that's where it's time to evolve. And that's where massive innovation happens, because it's like, okay, we've gone to this side, we went to this side, we're trying to go back to this side, but we don't want to go back. So how do we take both of those and move forward?
People are talking around it, and they throw out terms like trust recession.
Yep.
And they're saying, the coaching economy isn't what it once was.
Yeah.
But they're tying it to kind of an undefined, ineffable quality. And the more that we're getting into customization and customization of communication and customization of connection, because you're right, they've had the experiences on both sides. They had way too much human and they had way too much AI and way too much technology. And so now, again, we talk a lot about the personality of the coach being able to come through.
Yep.
And I think what we're able to do with custom app design and custom product design is let that personality come through and re-engage those clients in a way that they haven't experienced before. And that's really exciting for the client and for the coach. Turns out there's not a trust recession. It turns out when you have the right delivery system, people are just as hungry for connection and just as hungry for that direction from a coach.
I would say there's a trust actually deepening happening, like the opposite of a recession. I don't know what the word, I'm sure you know the word for that, but I think that people actually are trusting more, but something's happening. And so we're finding something to put it on. And that's the thing that it's being put on. But another interesting thing that I thought about while you were talking is a lot of coaches are saying, okay, well, I'm going back to Zoom, or I'm going to start doing more in person. And that's great. But what about when you want to scale? Like going away from tech doesn't fix the bad tech problem. It just pushes it down the road until you're like, okay, I need to go back to tech. And then what? So not that I think in person is bad or Zoom is bad. Like these are really awesome things, but are you solving a problem by kicking it around, or are you gathering everything and moving forward?
Yeah. And I think most of the coaches that we've interacted with are experiencing some level of that because they didn't know what was possible, what else was possible to solve the problem.
Right.
It's like, well, this didn't work, so I'm going to go back to this thing, and it's all that they know.
Yep.
So someone's watching this video and they're like, yeah, I felt that with Telegram. I felt that with the in-person stuff. I ran men's groups for 4 years and we were doing 2 to 3 a month. It wore me out. It was exhausting. And so then we got to figure out that same thing and transitioning. And I was like, oh, okay, well, we're missing this now. So people that are in that space, what are you telling them? What do we talk to them about when we're ready to develop and design something that bridges the gap? Yeah,
I think it is. It's okay. What have you been doing? What are the pain points of that? What are your ideas of going in person, doing more Zoom? And then if you had 500 people come in today, how do we build an app or a tech stack that allows that to happen, where you get both? You get that really high touch, personalized, one-on-one feel. And also you get to stay, like your energy stays protected, your time stays protected, and you're able to come in only when it actually is potent and going to make a really big difference. And it's different for every person because every person's business model, especially with AI and the way that we're moving, is becoming more and more, you could say, authentic, customized, true of like who they are and what they want to do. And it's becoming a lot less standardized. I think that's a huge theme. 2025 in the spiritual capacity, so many people talked about that was a year from hell. Like I had to face so much stuff in myself. That was rough. I never want to do it again. And 2026, I think what that allows you to do is when you let go of the standardized model and you actually look at what is working and what's not, then you have 100 different things, but then the question still is, how do I scale that? Yeah. How do I still reach a lot of people while keeping the integrity? I was just talking to my coach earlier this week and I was telling her, she's like, this lets you go faster. And I was like, it does let you go faster. It lets you go faster though, without sacrificing your authenticity, because with old world tech, you could say you have to pick. You can do speed and scale, or you can do authentic. And that often is associated with, you're not going to make a lot of money.
Right.
But with this new way that's emerging, you can have both.
Wonderful. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. If you resonate with this message, don't hit us up on Telegram. Go find us at coachgrid.com, or you can follow us on Instagram at coachgrid, and let's help you bring your personality through and deliver your message in that new and innovative way.